I'm Pat Magee. I'm a wildlife biologist at Western Colorado University, and I've been here for about 25 years. And I like to study wildlife, and I teach wildlife, but I also am really passionate about birds. And one of the things I really love about Cold Harbor is that it lies in a really important part of the landscape in the Gunnison Basin, because it's right along Tamegee Creek, about 2 miles of Tamegee Creek, and it's riparian wetlands that go along the edges. And these habitats only make up about 3% of the landscape in the Gunnison Basin and all over the West, in the arid West, but about 90% of wildlife use these habitats at some point during their annual cycle. So of all the land in this area, this what we call the thin green thread, which is the most productive and biologically rich areas, that's basically what makes up the entire Cold Harbor Ranch. And so we see birds from South America, from Central America, from the southern United States, migrating hundreds or thousands of miles just to come to this place to use the willows and the cottonwoods for their nesting habitat, and to benefit from all of the invertebrates that are being produced by the stream and flying out of the stream, and they provide the food for these birds. There's a huge number of birds. In riparian areas across the West, there's well over 200 species of birds that use these kinds of habitats. And those include a lot of flycatchers and warblers and tanagers and thrushes. We even have larger birds like great blue herons. Just up the river a little bit, there's a very large great blue heron rookery, and those birds are really rely on this habitat downstream, where we have about 2 miles of really high quality river and wetland riparian habitats, because those herons are nesting in a colony above the river, and then they fly up and down the river valley looking for fish. And so they need those foraging habitats, and this place provides some excellent foraging habitats for herons. Also, we have this really diverse group of songbirds. We call them neotropical migratory birds: the warblers, the sparrows, the flycatchers. And they are almost totally reliant on invertebrates during the breeding season, during the summer, when they migrate north to this area. And where are those invertebrates coming from? They're being produced by the stream itself, and the stream is being fed by the riparian habitats, by the leaves, the detritus that falls into the stream. So the land is feeding the stream, and the stream is feeding the birds. And these things are all totally dependent on each other. One of the other things that's really important about this riparian area is that the river and the floodplain are connected. And I'm really interested in Cold Harbor because it's an ecologically valuable place, a very important place. And also there's a lot of conservation benefits of this area. And one of the things in relationship to climate change is that when we have an intact floodplain, that floodplain acts like a water storage reservoir, basically. And after the big snow melt, Tamegee Creek starts to go down in terms of the volume of water flowing through the river, but that floodplain continues to push water back into the stream and allows the stream to flow year-round. So we need these intact floodplains to be able to store water in the landscape and keep our rivers running so that they can produce invertebrates, so that they can feed birds. So all of these things are highly connected, and having this intact system that is unique in the Gunnison Basin, because Butch Clark spent so much time trying to bring these riparian woody habitats back on this landscape. You don't see that in a lot of places up and down Tamegee Creek. So this is a very special place, and it's a very productive and biologically rich place for birds, as well as all kinds of wildlife.